you're not here to have a gay episode at all.
Damn.
Even though I finally have somebody here that really understands what it is to love the same sex. Oh, my bad. I forgot.
You think I'm gay?
Oh,
Oh, shit, I gotta go.
Well, sir, you have very nice eyebrows.
Yeah.
And you have a dangly earring like I do, so that's just...
I don't think that's an indication.
You automatically gay.
I don't think that's how that works.
Well, that's what my mama said about my daddy. So she knows best.
Okay. I guess mothers do know best.
Any man that has a dangly earring is gay. Okay.
Oh.
Just watch the damn podcast.
You are a joke.
That shit is so funny.
We can't even start properly, man.
Bloopers.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Hello, Club Culture family. My name is T, and we have a new face with us today.
Merry Christmas.
What is your name, sir?
Hello. My name is Esteban Julio Ricardo Montoya de la Rosa Ramirez. And
Your real name?
Andre Easton.
Andre Easton. Clap it up for Andre.
Damn, we got a lot of studio audience in here.
Yes,
that's crazy.
Thank you, audience.
Thank you.
They really are.
They're crazy.
They're going crazy for you.
You got some nice fans in here.
Yes. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell.
And watch the damn podcast.
And if you are tuned in on your favorite streaming platform, thank you for tuning in, and make sure you leave us a rating. So, Andre.
Yes.
Thank you for being here, first of all.
Thank you for having me.
We are back on our stomping grounds. D to the U.
Okay. Child, it's so weird being back up in here.
Oh my gosh, everything is different.
It is.
They got new logo colors.
New furniture everywhere.
New furniture that we stole.
That we did steal. This to bring in here.
Yeah, we have to do what they say we do best.
Deal.
Exactly. So we did just that. Yes, I really wanted you to come on the pod. You know, you was amongst the few people that I saw comment when I first made the post and say, I'm starting a podcast. I was like, yeah, I'm going to need his ass on the pod. We initially was supposed to start in June, so during Pride. But, you know.
So y'all homophobic is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't like you.
That's understandable. That's understandable.
Yeah, so we passed June up, and we was like, yeah, we just going to let him come back
Got you.
when it's his time.
So
you know?
February is what I was expecting because Black History Month.
Oh.
No? Oh. So you hate black people too?
You know, they don't really include gay history a part of Black history. So
Got you.
Exactly. So, you know, I knew when to bring you.
Got you. Okay, that's understandable.
Instead, I brought you now.
Yeah.
Because here on Club Culture, the mantra is turning negatives into positives and changing the narrative. You know, there's a lot out there that's there to divide us and keep hate.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to create a platform to where we can have everyone exist as they are, and we just, episode by episode, break down those barriers of hate and violence.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're not here to have a gay episode at all.
Damn.
Even though I finally have somebody here that really understands what it is to love the same sex. Oh, my bad. I forgot.
You think I'm gay?
Oh,
shit, I gotta go.
Well, sir, you have very nice eyebrows.
Yeah.
And you have a dangly earring like I do, so that's just...
I don't think that's an indication.
You automatically gay.
I don't think that's how that works.
Well, that's what my mama said about my daddy. So she knows best.
Okay. I guess mothers do know best.
Any man that has a dangly earring is gay. Okay.
Oh, God.
Oh, my gosh. But I did not bring you here for that. So here at Club Culture, we have a game.
Okay.
and it's called Weird or No, right?
Okay.
Hopefully you've never played this game because I thought I made it up.
I mean, everything has happened.
Yeah.
We're not reinventing the wheel.
Yeah, we're not, but let's act like
Okay.
we are.
Well, this probably is going to be an astounding and amazing game because you've created it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? I've never had this issue happen before, but my damn notes did not sync on this phone. So I'm going to wing it.
So what you're saying is you're unprepared for your own production.
What I'm saying is I have the wrong phone right now, but we can't do nothing about that.
Right.
Because we need that phone over there. So, weird or no?
Okay.
Kanye says that being fat is demonic. Is that weird or no?
Wait, what?
Kanye says that being fat is demonic. Is that weird or no?
Yeah, that's weird.
And you get one sentence to explain why.
Oh, I can't break that down in a sentence.
You gotta try. That's the name of the game.
Damn, I can't even think of the words to. Yes, it's weird because being fat isn't. Being fat isn't a choice. Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Nothing is a choice anymore. Okay. East Chicago teacher was arrested for having a kill list of student and teachers.
Wait, say that again?
East Chicago teacher was arrested for having a kill list with names of students and teachers.
Yes, that's weird because they're crazy.
Mind you, these are all real things.
When you started with Kanye, I knew this was going to be real.
Okay. We have recently exited a retrograde that has landed in multiple divorces across the globe.
Shit. I guess that's not weird.
Okay. The student loan forgiveness portal has opened.
That's not weird because I'm trying to get my money back.
Get your money back.
I'm trying to get some of that debt relief. Child, I ain't trying to be broke the rest of my life.
Okay, I'll give you one more. You one more. Trying to remember my notes. Oh, okay. Millions of crabs have shown up missing.
Oh, I did see that.
You saw that.
I actually saw that this morning.
Not that's breaking news.
It is breaking news. I like
Where's
seafood. What the fuck?
Seafood boys.
Okay.
You black as hell.
I am. Yeah, that is weird because where the fuck they go?
Exactly. We need them seafood boils.
Okay, give me a couple pieces of corn.
I gave you a shortened version of weird or not.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Because you're unprepared. But that's okay.
It's okay. We black people be
unprepared
all the time. But I do have a lot that I want to get your perspective on.
Okay.
So we have a couple of sectors that Club Culture likes to touch on every episode. We have hot topics, music and entertainment, current events, and mental health.
Okay.
Now, the mental health sector is where we really get to dive into it with the guests, because all that other shit is cool, but you know what really matters at the end of the day is livelihoods, well-beings. Yeah. So we gonna get straight to the bullshit. What does your music taste like? Like, how would you describe, if you were to be in a car with me and I never heard what you like to listen to and I gave you the aux, what would be the first song that you turn on to impress me?
Today, like if we got in the car right now and I was like, I'm about to play this song and we just gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
It's not a song.
Okay.
It's a whole album.
Okay.
It's Renaissance.
Renaissance?
Yeah.
All right. PC, easy. But okay,
no.
all right.
Honestly, it would have been Renaissance because I don't know. There's just the whole album is just a vibe. Mm-hmm. Outside of it being Beyonce, I don't know. It's feel good.
Okay.
To me, at least.
Yeah.
Dang. If I was to put on a song, I'm trying to think. Honestly, no. It's still not a song. If I was to put on something we got in the car right now, it'd probably be a musical.
Okay. And you gonna stand behind that.
And I'm gonna stand behind that.
So what musical you gonna turn on that's gonna get me intrigued?
Oh, it's gonna be Dreamgirls because you're a nigga.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right. I'm not about to take these stereotypes off.
It's gonna be Dreamgirls all the way.
You know word from word that movie?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, you are so gay.
I thought you just said you are such a nigga.
Nah, cause it's a difference between knowing all the songs. Okay, you a nigga, but knowing the script word from word.
Okay, then what if I say a Shrek?
Shrek is our childhood movie, like.
Oh, but what's the difference?
Because white people like Shrek too.
I don't think that changes it.
How many white people you know Dreamgirls?
A lot of the white people in my circle are very progressive and woke, so they know Dreamgirls.
Okay, so they know the songs too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Real in your circle. So you already answering why the fuck. Okay, before we even dive in any further, let's try to give the people a glimpse into who you are.
Okay.
So we met here at DU. We're both RAs. Mm-hmm. If you don't know what an RA is, that is a resident assistant. A resident assistant. Mm-hmm. You know the police. Okay.
Not the police.
The police on campus.
And honestly,
and you know that's where we really kind of was able to talk a little bit more.
Yeah, because I don't think our class was that big. Everybody knew of everybody to some extent.
At the time when we came in, we were the largest freshman class.
Yeah. That was crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say we did get to know each other more when we became RAs.
Yeah. How would you describe your freshman year at Dominican? Because I feel like a lot of us walked away saying freshman year was our favorite year being here. What was yours? I
would disagree. Mm-hmm. It wasn't. I wouldn't say that because freshman year was bad. Because freshman year was pretty fun. But also I wasn't really connected to freshman year because I knew that freshman year was my year to be like, do I really want to do college?
Yeah.
Because me and my mom had this conversation that was like, just try it out for a year. If you don't like it, you don't have to go to college.
Okay.
Which was like, okay, I'll just go for the year. Mm-hmm. And if I don't like it, whatever. So, I mean, freshman year was cool. I think my favorite year was probably the year that the pandemic hit. Mm-hmm. Because I was starting to do more things around campus, whether it was, what do we call it at the time? Doing Common Ground.
Okay.
Or doing CAB. Being involved in a lot of
So your senior year of college was your favorite year?
Damn, that was senior year.
Yeah.
I thought that was junior year.
We old as hell.
Oh, God. Yeah, I would say junior year into senior year because the latter part of our senior year was all virtual.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think you're the first person that I've brought on here that can actually dive into what it was like to be on campus, go off for spring break, and not return back. And not be able to come back.
That was crazy.
How was that experience for you when you first heard, like, damn, we got a pandemic coming?
Honestly, I think like anybody else thought, I thought it was going to be like this whole like 2-week ordeal where like everybody just did what they did at home and then we would be able to come back.
Yeah. And
then damn near 3 years then went by and shit ain't been the same. But honestly, I don't know. Nothing really changed for me. Like I obviously missed hanging out with everybody that I would hang out with here.
Yeah.
But it was fine.
Okay. Did you like experience any type of I'm locked in the house. I ain't got shit to do. What do I do with my life? Like,
Yeah.
how did you cope through lockdown?
Well, like you said, at first it was just like, damn, I'm really finna be stuck in the house this whole time and being bothered with my mom 24/7. Which ended up not being a problem because we ended up doing our own damn things anyway.
Yeah.
But I need to move this. She just vibrating. But I would say maybe like a month or two into the pandemic is when I really started to like do a deep dive into doing makeup.
Okay.
And just learning different things to do and how to do them. So that's what pretty much occupied my time, other than like classes, obviously.
Yeah. Was it hard for you to finish out your senior year virtually? Like, was that transition to now going virtual difficult, or how was it?
It was kind of difficult because I'm definitely more of a hands-on kind of learner, and not having the ability to physically experience like whatever was going, because I was a theater major, a lot of what we did was like physical, like hands-on type of stuff. And not being able to do that was very like taxing because I was like, damn, I can't really do like the stuff that I really like to do in this moment.
Yeah.
So it was hard, but like it ended up getting easy because we ended up having less work to do. So
for sure.
It was easy sailing like the rest of our senior year semester.
Yeah. Professors like, turn it in when you want to. Okay?
Literally. Like, we're just gonna grade the shit when we get it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, you gonna get it when you get it.
Yes, exactly. I feel like that time right there, I was able to stay on campus, help people exit, but I was already really overwhelmed with work. And I think that was a blessing and curse just for me. Now, this might sound insensitive because lives were lost, but I had a bunch of fucking work. I had a bunch of senior portfolio shit to finish, and so I was able to lock in my dorm room and not have that pressure to get all of that shit done. And I knocked all of that shit out, and probably had the best grades.
No, honestly, my best grades were probably that latter part of our senior year when we were on lockdown.
Yeah, exactly. You ain't got shit else to worry about.
You literally can't focus on anything else but your work.
Exactly. So, you know, so take it how you want.
Okay. Yeah.
Did you how did COVID or the pandemic affect your well-being, your career, your transition into adulthood?
That's a good question. In terms of well-being, I would say it really took a nice chunk of my mental health because I'm more of a social person.
Yeah.
I like being social. I like doing social events or hanging out with people or whatever the case may be. So not having the ability to do that, like in a physical environment and having to do everything virtually was really taxing.
Yeah.
Because I didn't feel like I got the full experience of being with the people that I loved or my friends or whatever the case was. But like in terms of like transitioning into adulthood, it kind of helped me because I was doing a lot of things on my own because at the time when my mom was still living in Chicago, we lived under the same roof. And we were very serious about not giving each other COVID or whatever the case was. She would mostly stay at home, and once things started to light up and they were allowing people out, I was still going out because I was like, I can't be stuck in the house.
Yeah.
So we pretty much lived separate lives, and I had to do everything on my own. So I guess it lended a hand to helping me be where I am now in terms of being able to do everything by myself.
Yeah. So before COVID, your view of like independence and how that was for you was strengthened?
Yeah, okay. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I just feel like it helped me be more of an individual rather than depend on, I wouldn't necessarily say depend because towards the end of my college career, I was being more independent anyway.
Yeah.
Like obviously I was still living under my mom's roof, so I had rules I needed to abide by, like not going out all the damn time and being more conscious of the stuff that I do. And COVID kind of just really intensified that.
Yeah.
So like once things started to let up and I was going out more, I had to be more cautious of staying out or being around people for like too long of periods of time just to make sure my mom was good because my mom has like severe asthma, so she couldn't be compromised like in any form. So yeah, that was hard, but we got through it.
I understand your moms. You know, recently on the pod, I've shot out our asthmatic people. You know, we're a laughing stock. You know, sometimes if you don't have extreme asthma and you just got like, you know, heavy breathing, pollen, fuck you up real quick.
Right.
You know, they don't take us serious.
Yeah.
But shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all still, because I see you.
Not I see you. I think I have a what's the word I'm looking for? A unique perspective about asthma. Because I would say up until I was like, I want to say like 8 or 9, I had like chronic asthma. Like if I walk too damn fast, I'm hyperventilating and breathing hard as fuck. And then out of nowhere, it just disappeared.
Exactly. Yes.
So.
Yes. Do you feel like you beat it? Like you was like, I beat asthma.
Yeah, that's that.
That's what I used to say growing up.
Not I beat asthma.
Exactly. Because my asthma was induced. I had 8 perm when I was a baby. And so that fucked up my systems and boom, I got asthma now. And so basketball, I'm like, damn, I'm the fastest one here. I can run for a long time. Am I beating this shit? But shit, now I'm done playing sports. I'm like, shit, this shit was just masking itself. Exactly. I need a what is it called?
An inhaler.
And then I need my inhaler way more.
Some Bruderol.
Some Vicks sometimes. Rub it on the chest. A purifier. All of that.
But to answer your question, yes, I beat asthma.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's been a struggle.
Yes, I actually asked a question specifically because the theme for some episodes has been adulting and transitioning. Nobody really prepares you for this. Nobody knows the answers. There's not a one fits all.
I'm gonna stop you there.
Okay.
Because I would in my personal experience, I would disagree that I was prepared for it.
Okay.
I just chose not to listen to the preparations.
A nigga. Okay.
Because a lot of stuff that comes up now, and I'm like, damn, I should have just listened to my mama when she was telling me this shit. But also, sometimes you have to learn through experience.
Yeah.
And it's shitty, but like, I guess that teaches you way more than somebody being like, oh, you got to watch out for this or don't do this and make sure you on time with whatever the case is.
Yeah.
So yeah.
How would you describe the relationship between you and your mom? It seems as if did you have a dad growing up? Serious question, not a joke. I know it's funny to talk about absentee dads. But where's your dad?
Where he at though?
Exactly.
No, I was gonna say ironically, no. I did have my dad.
Okay.
There's a lot of like background information that would probably be needed to have an extensive conversation about that. But long story short, there are issues between my dad and my grandma, and that kind of happened because of my mom.
Okay.
And how what's the word? How terrible she was at communicating between stuff my dad would do to telling my grandma that stuff, and it just turned into whole problems. So he was around. He just wasn't around as much as he wanted to be.
Okay.
Because of the issues that my mom created.
Okay.
And we've had this conversation, like not we, but my mom and I have had this conversation multiple times because obviously my mom and my grandma would say some stuff and then my dad would say complete opposite stuff. And I'm like, well, something ain't adding up here. Exactly. And it turned out to be my mom. But he was around. He still is around today. But my mom, my mom is my rock. Definitely my mom is my rock.
Would you, that right there is not something I expected to talk about, but I'm so glad that you touched on it because your upbringing and the people that raised you is such a sensitive thing for people to really dive into. And everybody has built up anger or whatever about talking about that topic. Me, I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I want to get to it. I want people to be better parents and then be better children to your parents. So we have to talk about this shit.
Absolutely.
So the conversation that you probably had with your dad, where he would say his perspective on things, how were you able to find the truth and pick out what the truth was?
Because there would be little things that my dad would say that would trigger a memory of like something I would hear from my mom. Mm-hmm. So like, let's start at the beginning. So my mom and my dad were dating through like high school. Mm-hmm. And obviously things happened where I'm here. But my mom lied to my dad about how old she was.
Oh, okay.
So while they were dating, my dad was 19. He thought my mom was 17. Whole time she was 15. And he didn't find out how old she actually was until my grandma approached him and was like, "You got my baby pregnant."
Okay. All right.
So that just turned into a whole situation in itself. And then a lot of other things transpired. But through having conversation with my dad and hearing his side of the story, and then approaching my mom being like, okay, well, I've heard this from grandma. I've heard this from my dad. Now I'm coming to you. I want to hear your side of the story because this is what I was told.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, a lot of what your dad is saying is really true. Mm-hmm. It was just being young and dumb, pretty much, that a lot of the negativity transpired between the three of their relationships. So it was just, I think, wanting to know, which helped me figure out a lot of stuff. And I think that's where a lot of people kind of like fuck up because they don't really want to take the time to learn the experiences from all sides. They just, because had I not wanted a relationship with my dad, or I wouldn't even say that, had I not wanted to know what transpired and why things are the way they are currently, I think I would be more apt to be like, well, my mom is right and everything she says is right, fuck you type of like mentality. But I forgot where I was going with that.
You said if you hadn't wanted to know the truth and ask those questions,
I probably would just probably be in a space where I would side more with my mom on stuff. Yeah. Just, I don't know, just wanting to take that extra step rather than wait for things to happen between them to get better. Yeah. Helped bring a lot of us together. Mind you, they don't have a bad relationship now. It's just really like early on stuff. Yeah. But yeah, I think just wanting to be knowledgeable about a lot of the experiences that they were going through.
I love that you said that you searched for the truth. Because sometimes parents, they feel like, oh, kids don't need to know all that lame ass shit. Yeah. But I truly do hope that stops being the mindset of adults. That kids, don't need to know certain things. And I really do think that you're setting your kid up for failure and not truly having a good sense of identity if you don't let them know where they came from. That is my story for sure. And I haven't gotten to that space where you were, where you search for the truth. I hear things and I'm like, do I want to know the truth? Because if I know the truth, it might fuck up having a relationship with either of you two. So
that's definitely a mindset I still do have, because I don't, honestly, a lot of the times when these conversations come up is through authentic conversation. Rather than me being like, okay, so I heard this, that, and the third from my mom or my grandma, what's like actually going on. But like a lot of the times when I'm with my dad and like we are like just chilling, authentic conversation just comes up and he like tells me he wishes he would have done more like when I was little. Cause he would say like he feels like we have a great relationship, but he feels like it could have been better had he done more when I was little, like in terms of making like not forcing his way around, but being more persistent with trying to be around regardless of how my grandma felt or regardless of what my mom was telling my grandma to make her feel that way. Yeah. So like it would just be authentic conversation rather than me just trying to pry. Because because I do have, like you were saying, I do have that mindset where I'm like, damn, do I really want to try to figure this out, or do I really want to know? Is this going to change any way that I feel, or whatever the case is?
Yeah. So we got your upbringing. We got a little bit more about how we met.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the things you've done on campus, because that shouldn't go unnoticed. I recently saw like my high school had brought on some alumni. And those type of alumni that high schools they try to bring back to talk to the kids is like the actors and the ones that do these high unemployment rate jobs. But I want that to change to let's bring on the lawyers, the people that work 9 to 5s, and bring them on, because that is still a success story in its own. So something that I want to give you your flowers over is you bringing the first drag show to Dominican.
Yeah.
Audience, yes! Yay! Yeah. Because that's very huge and very big for somebody to do, knowing the school that we went to.
Yeah.
Hispanic serving.
Yes.
Liberal arts. Small private school.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So what was your game plan and mindset that led up to you bringing the first drag show here?
Oh. In a nutshell, it was just I wanted to see more gay shit.
You ain't think we had enough?
No, absolutely not. Like you said, being a primarily Hispanic serving school, a Catholic school, there was a lot of things that I'm pretty sure still don't really sit right with the school. Obviously, there are people in positions that really advocate for a lot of the different communities, whether it be LGBT, whether it be the Black community, like whatever the case is. There's a lot of people in positions, especially positions of power, that do a lot to serve those specific communities.
Yeah.
But I still think there was an undertone of, I don't want to say homophobia, but like homophobia.
Yeah.
So it was just me wanting to see more representation of not only things that I know I liked, but things that I know will better serve the DU community at large.
Okay.
Giving more representation towards specific things. So that was my main goal.
I think that was my first time seeing real life drag show, and then somebody in drag. Like, that's just stuff that you would see on TV. So I really appreciated it. I love drag. I love going to drag shows. I grew up and I had like a cousin, and he was into like the whole, I didn't know that's what it was at the time until like, I'm older now, but he was doing the voguing and all that shit, and they would go out and do events and stuff. But he never was in drag. It was just that. And so that's all I knew. And then TV, RuPaul, that's all I fucking knew. But then as you get older, you're supposed to be more experienced, learn more about the world. And so I was fortunate enough to be here at the right time to see that happen because of you. And you're great. Do you call each other sisters, or what do you all call each other?
It depends on, honestly, who it is. In a general sense, siblings.
Siblings, okay.
Because there's not just drag queens. There's honestly a lot of different facets with like any community. There's like a general umbrella, but then there's many different things that are encompassed by that umbrella. So like you have your drag queens, your drag kings, your depending on how they identify, drag things, aliens, whatever the case is. Yeah.
So if you are an alien, what does that look like?
It depends. There's literally no like specific look to drag, and like just as a whole, it just depends on how people choose to identify and choose to express their art.
Yeah. I heard alien. I was like,
wait a damn minute.
Hold on, nigga.
Y'all got ET and drag and shit?
Exactly.
What the fuck?
Because a motherfucker could definitely pop up and dance to Katy Perry
Yeah.
ET.
And will.
I'm still not the most educated and knowing of what it is to be a I wouldn't even say that. just somebody that truly embodies what it is to be a part of the LGBTQ plus APVZJ.
The alphabet mafia.
Yeah. To be a part of that community, I'm still from the far looking in, but I still appreciate and accept everybody.
Absolutely.
One, I'm gay as hell. But like two, even though I don't really care to be a part of a community or whatever, I still appreciate people wanting to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So what are some, because now we're finna go into like the hot topics, the music and shit.
Let's do it.
This is drag 101.
Okay.
How would you say the influence between music and entertainment, more so music, the intersectionality between drag and music?
How would
you describe that intersectionality?
It's a vibe. I guess is the simplest way to put it. I think a lot of music really speaks to how people feel, and combining that with an art that's more than just dressing up a particular way. Especially being a performer, you really use songs to communicate a feeling or to communicate a specific aspect of who you are. It all depends on what the music is.
Yeah.
And the feeling you're trying to convey, I guess you can say. Yeah.
That's what I get when I watch drag. It's just dancing and expressing things through the lyrics and the rhythm of the beat. That's what I get when I'm watching the people perform.
People... Never mind.
I really asked so that we could dive into the stereotypes that come with being in drag and performing. Cause some people, they just like, y'all just niggas in dresses dancing, and then there's people that's like, well, why did you choose that song?
Yeah.
Or why did you choose to dress like that for that song? And why's your name what it is?
Yeah.
Lizzie told me the meaning behind your name, and I never knew it. So what is your alter ego drag name?
My drag name is Rachel Slurrz.
And can you explain why did you choose that name and where it come from?
Honestly, I don't know. I honestly can't recall the reason I chose that name. I just really had a connection to being, when I started drag, at least, I had a connection to being a comedy queen, is what we call it. So someone who primarily does performances based on comedy or with comedic intent. So I chose Rachel Slurrz because it's a play on racial slurs.
Yeah.
And being a black entertainer, I just thought it was going to be funny.
Yeah.
So yes, that's why I chose that. There was a second question that you asked, or
no, I just asked where did it come from?
Oh yeah, honestly, that just it was a combination of watching a movie, which was Tu Wong Fu, in which RuPaul was in, and his character name was Rachel Tension.
Okay.
And I was like, that's cool, but I don't want to be named. I don't want to have that same name.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was like, well, if I eventually wanted to do something like Drag Race, I don't want to go up there and be like, hi, my name is Rachel Tension, and RuPaul be like, well, that was my name and the movie that I, like the character that I played in that movie. And I was like, okay, I just need something more specific to me, more authentic for me.
Yeah.
So Rachel Slurrz.
I love your name.
Thank you.
I am a brand geek nerd.
Yeah.
So when she told me what exactly, I was like, oh my gosh, that is Andre. That makes perfect sense. And then when I went to Miami and I went to a drag brunch, and the host, the people that basically announce is the ones, the performers coming out there to host. So the host, she pretty much kind of had that going too, where
I'm trying to think, because if you said if you were at our house is a venue in Miami. I'm trying to think of who
she was tall. She was darker than me. What?
Then I don't know who you're talking about.
Okay, never mind.
Because the main person that I know that hosts a lot of the drag brunches there, her name is Athena Dion.
Okay, I don't remember that name.
I don't know who. I would have to look, but I'm pretty sure I know who you're talking about. I just can't think of it.
She was there, and then later that night when I was walking down South Beach, she was there at another one hosting. So I'm like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
it's like okay, on payroll.
Yeah,
all right.
absolutely.
Okay.
Child, sometimes you got to do multiple things in a day to make sure you collect that bag.
Exactly. How profitable, or like, what level are you at when you give it video game levels? Are you at boss level when it comes to drag, or first level tutorial?
Definitely not first level.
Okay, period.
I'm definitely not boss level, just to make sure I'm humbling myself. I would say like intermediate.
Okay.
Because you got like your amateur, you got your whatever the next thing up, intermediate, expert, boss. I think I'm like somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
How would you describe your approach when it comes, because I typically see you as hosting. Mm-hmm. How would you describe your approach when it comes to hosting drag shows?
In what sense?
So like you've given your name Rachel Slurrz for a reason, and then you dress a particular way for a reason. All of that, what is that reason? And then you have to now speak. The personality behind Rachel Slurrz.
Honestly, I wouldn't, as I said in the beginning, more for like comedic intent. So like, I like to be more like funny on the mic. So let's say, for instance, we're starting a show, or like we're about to start a show, and so what I like to typically do is give a couple rules before the show starts. I'll go, hi everybody, welcome to whatever the show name is. I'm your host, Rachel Slurrz. Before we get the show started, I want to give y'all a couple rules. Rule number 1, make sure you're drinking, because the more you drink, the prettier these bitches look. Okay. Rule number 2, make sure you're tipping, because the more you the more you tip, no. How do I say it? Not me forgetting my own rules.
I should forget your own lyrics.
Okay. The more you tip, no, that's not it either. Not me blanking.
Wow, it's okay. Play as fuck up.
Anyway, the more you tip, the better these bitches will look. Or
is it the more you sip?
No.
Okay.
So the more you drink, the prettier these bitches look. The more you tip, it's something really specific that I say. But to get to an end, it's pretty much the more you tip, the like better costumes these bitches will be able to get. Okay. I say have fun. Rule number 3 is to have fun, because if you're having a good time, we're having a good time. And with anything, the last rule is consent is sexy and consent is mandatory. Okay. So if my bitches ain't touching you, don't touch my bitches. So yeah, and just like playing off of that, saying jokes on the mic, or picking on specific people in the crowd, or telling jokes about whoever my performers are that are coming on stage. It just depends on the situation, or like the vibe of whatever's going on.
Okay. So there's this thing where you said you would turn on Renaissance. Right? Yeah. So when Renaissance dropped, and even before Renaissance, when Drake dropped his recent album. Yeah. The commentary on social media was, this is some gay shit. This is for the gays. They didn't make music for the blacks or whoever they want to make music for, right? How did you take that?
Honestly, I don't think I can really comment on it, because I didn't even try to listen to Drake's album.
Well, you listened to Beyonce's, and that was still the same.
Well, then definitely yes. That Renaissance was definitely made not for lack of a better word, because there is a better word, but Renaissance was made for faggots. Okay. I don't know. She just did the work she put behind Renaissance, and this ain't me blowing like smoke up her ass or nothing, but like the from hearing the stories from people who have been featured on the album, like your T.S. Madison's, for those who know who T.S. Madison is, or if you don't, she's a well-known figure in the queer community as a black trans woman. Okay. But her being on Cozy, or having Grace Jones, or in the Pure Honey song, is more centered around like ballroom stuff, which is the voguing, and things of that nature. Or even Summer Renaissance being a song that was primarily derived from Donna Summer, who's a huge icon in the queer community. Yeah.
I know that name.
Yeah. You said everything you said up until that point, I didn't know. But Donna Summer, I do know her. But yeah, no, she put in the work for Renaissance and showed a lot of representation in terms of advocation for like the queer community.
Okay. Do you think that you knowing the history behind the particular samples she used, the people that she chose to sample for that album made you appreciate the art behind it more, or was that just like, that's part of the business, you use samples, that's what you're supposed to do?
Honestly, both. I do think Beyonce could do shit without samples.
Yeah.
Just fucking Beyonce.
Yeah.
But the added work of having the samples, the added work of doing the research behind the samples and making sure she, or not she per se, but her team went down the appropriate routes of making sure that they got approval from whoever they took the samples from, or like whoever's clippings that they used. It speaks volumes to me. So I think they both really merged, quite honestly.
I spoke on the Renaissance album. I gave it like a 7 or a 6 at the time. This was probably like 10 weeks ago or something, right? And then they started warming on me a little bit more, where I stopped thinking about how sample heavy it was. So I feel like when people use samples, you're supposed to use it in a way that uplifts the song and creates its own originality, and not just use the sample and do what is called music interpolation. Well, you ain't really doing much. Yeah. And so from my ears, it sounded like she wasn't doing much. And so I was like, all right, but I do like what the lyric content was on top of it. It just was a bit simple. Yeah. That was my interpretation of it when I reviewed it. But like when I listened to you, because I didn't go and do a deep dive about who she particularly used and all of that stuff, but I know that shit matters. And so listen to you and also having the songs fill me in a little bit more, I do give it a higher rating. I do think it was a vibe. It's a much better project than Drake's, but now standalone, it's
I'm definitely where you are. When I first listened to it, because obviously there were leaks before it actually dropped, and I just chose not to listen to the leaks. So when it actually dropped, I literally played it. It was like midnight, and I stayed up just to make sure I listened to it. And I just listened to like the first 30 seconds of like every song because I was tired as fuck. But I was like, "This is what Beyonce produced." Like, I don't know if I'm vibing with this. Yeah. And then I just started to listen to it more and listening to it in its entirety, like from top to bottom, rather than like skipping through, and like quite honestly, like fell in love with that album. Yeah. And I think what assists me in having a deeper relationship with the album is that I'm just connected to the different aspects that I mentioned. Like just bringing back what you said like you appreciate the queer community, but you're still at a distance. Yeah. And I think because I'm just like more immersed. I don't want to say the experience of being queer, but immersed.
Boss level.
I'm boss level.
You boss level.
I'm boss level. I just think it also lends a hand to why I've liked the album more, I guess. Yeah.
So would you say that there is truth in people saying that there is a sound that is the gay sound with music?
Damn. Yes. In short, yes. Okay. There's definitely, and I know people hate this, not people hate this word, but people outside of the experience hate hearing it so raw. Yeah. There's definitely a faggoty sound to music. I don't know, it's just something about like certain music. You can definitely tell when an artist is really trying to pull in a specific audience. Okay. Not even just queer, when it's when they're really trying to do like some nigga shit. Like what album was that? like Black is King by Beyonce, or I'm trying to think. I can't even think about nothing else right now. Beyonce's on my mind.
Wait until Exhale soundtrack.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
That is just like, oh, this is for the Black experience. Or Lizzo. I wouldn't even necessarily say, like, she definitely has music that is geared towards queer consumption, but a lot of her music is geared towards being Black, being fat and Black, and being a fat Black woman. So like, it all depends on the artist, but there's definitely, to me at least, because I'm pretty sure there's people who would argue differently, but there's definitely, to me, a gay sound.
Yeah. You know, it was like, is this hot house or is this gay house? That's what I was seeing when people would speak on the Drake and the Beyonce album.
Yeah.
So now that I got you, you are the spokesperson at the time right now.
God.
I'm just kidding. I am just kidding. That is your opinion. That is not the say all be all. But now that we've gotten music out the way, I wanted to touch on, mental health. Check in with you. How are you currently mentally?
I think I'm good. I wouldn't say I'm the greatest. Obviously, everybody has their problems that they're like going through on a consistent basis. But for the most part, I think I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you practice counseling, therapy, any type of, what do you do to get yourself balanced?
I don't, no, to answer, no, I don't. In the typical sense, like going to somebody being like, okay, I need a soundboard. Like professionally. I think definitely having a close group of people who have the same experiences as I do. Not only just same experience, but also having people who are willing to listen without necessarily speaking, just letting me, like I said, being a soundboard. I think my general therapy just comes from venting. Yeah, I don't think, but to answer the statement, answer the question, no, I don't practice therapy or.
So outside of like just having those ears, do you feel like that's enough sometimes for you?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I think there are other forms of things that I do to, I guess, help in terms of like therapeutic moments, where they'd be like, because I like to clean. Like if I'm in the mood to clean, like I'm a cleaner. It's just how I was raised. Otherwise, it's just like I find myself occupying my time doing stuff to keep my mind off of whatever's going on, which also is not, quite honestly, it's not healthy either. But yeah.
I appreciate you being completely honest right now, because one thing, I'm not going to say a particular person, but one thing people will do is listen to people talk about their journey with mental health and how they typically don't really search for the resources and utilize those resources. They say, I just figured it out.
Yeah.
Right? And they're like, see, I told you.
Yep.
That's what I do too, boy.
Yep.
Yeah. That's all you need. No. Andre said, it's not the healthiest thing to do, but currently that's what I do.
Yeah.
Don't forget that he said it's not the healthiest thing to do.
Yeah. No, I think, and not that anyone else is unfortunate not to be able to do this, but I think I'm very fortunate enough to discern what I need and what I don't need. I definitely do think, and I've been having this thought for like the last couple of years. I definitely do think I want to go to a therapist. I wouldn't say there's not a need, because I'm sure there is a need to go to a therapist or go to somebody professionally, rather. But I don't know. Something about going to a therapist just scares me, because I feel like they're going to unlock some stuff that I've really buried that I don't consciously think about. So yeah, that's a whole nother.
Well, I hope you liberate yourself from that fear.
Yeah.
You know, because with truth comes happiness.
Absolutely.
I believe. I was once like that, and you know, with truth came my identity, what I actually am supposed to be. You know, so you know, I just wish that I hope for liberation through that fear. You know, we had coming out day here.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's something that particular people really enjoyed, right? What was your coming out story? And who was the first person you came out to?
Honestly, I wouldn't even particularly say that I've had a coming out story. Also, I'm realizing how much I say honestly. So you maybe should keep a ticker, like a little counter.
How many times you
Every
say
time I say it,
Okay.
it just pops up on the screen. But I don't think I had necessarily a coming out story.
Okay.
A lot of my friends, like, quite honestly, you look at somebody like, damn, you gay. Like, you just know. Like, I don't know. It's just a vibe. But I guess...
Not you say your coming out was a vibe. I don't know. It was just a vibe.
It's just a vibe.
A lot happens in that vibe.
It does. Well, I ain't even gonna go there.
They're not ready for that yet.
No, not that conversation. But no, my friends knew without me explicitly saying it. There was obviously a point where I was like, yeah, I'm at the time, or at whatever point, I'm gay. Well, it started out, I think, with like anybody, I'm bi. Then I was like, no, I'm gay.
You ever had a girlfriend?
Before I got to Dominican, well, actually, I would say about 6 months into being a freshman here, I had a girlfriend. And I honestly can't remember the situation as to why we broke up. Yeah, no, I can't remember. But we were like close friends through high school, and without telling all her tea, she was dating somebody who just wasn't the best of people to her. And it affected our friendship, and then her and that person stopped dating, and I had always had a crush on her.
You scooped her up when she
absolutely did.
when she was down.
Absolutely did.
Wow.
This cute little short Latina chick with the fattest of ass.
Fat ass.
Fat ass. Anyway, we were dating, and then I expressed to her that like I had a crush on her, or whatever the case may be. And we started dating.
That's why people don't trust that whole bestie shit.
Yeah.
You gotta be better than this, Andre.
Well, when I like a piece of ass, I'm gonna be in the presence of that ass until I have my opportunity to tap that ass.
That is slick. Y'all, I can't stand niggas. Even when you gay, you still a nigga. That is crazy.
But
that
no,
is crazy.
I mean, we had the, like, she knew when we first started going to high school together that I had a crush on her. Honestly, I had a crush on like every damn body.
Okay.
Because I don't know, it was just some fine ass people in our class. But we're like really close friends. Like we like flirted with each other like all the time. So I knew there was something there on her end as well. So I wasn't just aimlessly like being like, okay, like I'm gonna tell you this just to like get it type of thing.
Yeah.
Like there was mutual like feelings. But yeah. And currently I'm dating a woman.
Really?
Yeah, a trans woman.
Oh, okay.
A woman nonetheless.
Okay.
But what I was saying was identifying as, I wouldn't say I've had to come out multiple times, but starting off as bi and then being like, oh no, okay, no, I'm gay. And just further self-searching and soul-searching and trying to figure out how I identified and what I identified with. I just have come to like, be like, you know what, I'm just queer. As of that was not the latest, but as of recently, I've just, I guess, immersed myself in being queer in different ways, and I've come to know that I'm more than that, which is a whole nother conversation.
That's a great piece that you just gave, though, because the word queer, it used to be a derogative term.
Absolutely.
Now that's a term people are inviting back into the community because you don't want to confine yourself to just one sexual orientation. Yeah. So queer kind of like embodies, nigga, I want whatever the fuck.
Exactly. Exactly.
Exactly. So I'm glad that you even just said that so that it can be said.
Yeah.
And even like not coming out to people, I think everybody has a coming out story, even if it's just to yourself and you never had to say it.
Oh, well then
you had to come out to yourself like, yeah nigga.
No, I think I knew something was up from like jump, and being one of the curious like kids that's like searching those specific sites, being like, oh, this looks kind of fun. I think I want to indulge in that. No, I mean, I think with anyone, there was moments of, nah, that ain't me, and like the denial of whatever it is. But like, I just had to be honest with myself, with being like, no, you're a little fruity in the booty.
There's a little sweetness to this
There's a little sugar in that tank.
How did you like lay the message to your family? More specifically, the people that matter to you, your mom.
They always knew. From what they tell me, they always knew.
They always gonna say that.
Absolutely. But coming from a black, highly religious like background, it was very difficult to be like, all right, y'all, like I got something to say. So it was hard wanting to mention that or having to, which to go back to your original question, I never told my parents. It was just like, we love you type of conversation regardless, without saying or asking if I was queer or if I was gay or whatever the case was. So specifically, my mom, I guess the coming out moment was we were in church, and one of the ministers at the time was giving a sermon, not necessarily about her son, who was also queer, that I grew up with, but I don't know how it got there, but at the end of her sermon, she pretty much said to a whole congregation that her son was gay and she didn't give a fuck what nobody else thought. Like, that's my son at the end of the day. And I looked at my mom, because my mom and I, when we had like in-person services, my mom and I ran our media team pretty much for the most part. So we were sitting in the sound booth, and I looked at her and I was like, I guess that is how I came out then. But anyway, I looked at her, I said, if you ever do something like that to me, I swear to God, I will never talk to you again.
Yeah.
And she was just like, I looked at her face that whole sermon, and you can just see in her face that she was kind of really like disgusted that this was happening in front of a congregation of people. Mind you, our physical church was like this old like Catholic like cathedral type of church. Yeah. So like huge, like filled with people, and this lady is telling this to like hundreds of people, and my mom was like, I love you regardless. I would never do that to you type of conversation. And like that was it. Yeah. But in that moment there was like a weight that lifted off my shoulder, because I was like, okay, she knows. Okay. And like down the line we just had more conversation, and she was like, well, I've known this whole time. I was just waiting on you to say something. Yeah. And I was like, then why you ain't just say something?
I'm just out here
struggling.
I was hoping you don't bring me to the pulpit.
Okay. But it just happened naturally. Because I think we there's other like gay people in our family, like very like predominant gay people in our family, and they were like, well, we have these people around. Like, you could have just said something. Like, we obviously accept these people. We might not agree with the lifestyle, which I'm like, okay, it's not a lifestyle, but like,
nigga's permanent.
It's right. It's like, I'm not just choosing to do this for a second. Like, y'all know what? I just want to fuck a man.
Yeah.
They were like, we're gonna love you regardless. We're not gonna like put you out on the street or whatever. Like, that's not the case. So that was just, it was just really easy. I would say I was fortunate that I had a really easy experience, because especially Black gay people don't really have that experience of having people in their corner.
Yeah, for sure. Now, how, like, just let's harp a little bit on the whole people of color, more specifically Black people, and being gay, being all the other sexual orientations, right?
The alphabet mafia.
Yeah. It's not accepted, okay? We're not even going to
beat around the bush.
It's not.
Yeah.
And it's gotten, like, I guess, more tolerable. I wouldn't say accepted, but it's become more tolerable amongst our community, but we're still not there to where we are seen as one.
Yeah.
You know? Like, nigga, you're gay before you're Black.
Yep.
All of that, right? How do you, like, walk into a room and demand respect from people that do not respect what you are, who you are?
I don't even think I do anything specific. If I'm walking into a room and you know how I identify that I'm a queer person, I'm just going to automatically assume walking into obviously I'm going to have my reservations, but I'm just going to automatically assume that you're going to respect me in this moment. Like, you can say whatever you want to say behind my back. Like, I could care less.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you ain't paying my bills. You ain't doing nothing that contributes to my livelihood. But I'm just going to assume walking into a room that in this moment, for this time of whatever we're doing, you're going to respect who I am, what I say, and do whatever you need to do behind closed doors when we leave this environment. But if not, I'm going to confront you about it. I'm definitely not the type to sit and be silent, especially if I'm feeling disrespected. I'm going to tell you how I feel.
Yeah.
And if you continue to be disrespectful, I'm going to be disrespectful to you, which isn't the way to go.
Yeah.
But you're not going to sit here and try to like make me look stupid or embarrass me, especially if we're amongst other people.
Yeah.
And like demean me and make me feel little. No, that's not what we're about to do.
Yeah.
So I will return the favor that you give to me right back unto you.
Okay. I need to see what that looks like. So we finna do a little scene.
Oh God.
And scene. You finna sit next to me?
I absolutely am about to sit here.
Okay.
Is there a problem?
No, just make sure you stay over there.
Oh, okay, why is that?
I don't want none of that over here with me.
None of what?
Sir.
Sir.
Oh, what is your pronoun?
Right. Okay, so this is how we finna go. So what we're about to do is we're about to have this conversation. And we're going to talk about whatever this is for now, but we're not going to be disrespectful. If I'm finna respect you, you're going to respect me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ain't no talking.
Right. We just finna fight. I mean, it don't necessarily go, it don't always go like that.
With you because I really don't know what that looks like. I don't think I've been in a space
honestly,
where I had
it's
to
different all
respect.
the time. It's different all the time. It's really a guessing game as to whether, unless you like already know before walking into a room what you're walking into, it's always a guessing game whether you're going to be like, okay, are people going to be looking at me weird?
Yeah.
Because like, well, you can't see it now because I cut them down because it's just easy for me to work. But I usually like to have like long ass like acrylic nails because I don't know, they just make me feel good. And like you can tell when people like look down at your nails and like look up at you and like feel a certain type of way without really
saying anything.
Yeah. So it's always an unsaid shift in an environment and an energy in a room. And also being someone with a lot of different experiences that sometimes like really intersect, I've gotten to a point where I can really discern an energy in a room as I'm walking in, rather than sitting in a room and letting things transpire and then being like, oh wait, like something ain't gonna be right here. Yeah. Like I can walk into a room and be like, okay, something ain't finna be right, but let me put on this face and get this shit over with. Yeah. So it all depends.
The face that you put on, how does that actually make you feel? Because I know that when we're around our coworkers and we can't really just be ourselves because they might view it as, oh, what are they talking about? We don't know what they're really saying. Yeah. Or let me touch your hair, some shit like that, right?
Oh my God.
How does always having to come and be something that is not authentically yourself feels for you sometimes?
It's taxing. It's like an energy, like vampire. It drains your energy because you're trying to put on a face to impress whoever it is, especially being a black person, being a black queer person. You're always looking for ways to blend in certain environments. I don't know. I just find myself in really unique situations. Excuse me. I find myself in really unique situations because a lot of the environments that I'm frequently in now, there's something that feels like home, I guess. So like with my 9-to-5 job, I work at I was telling you earlier, I work at a life insurance company, and walking in, like, when I went to the interview, because my mom also works at the same company. Okay. When I went to the interview, mind you, I wear my dangly earrings, I wear my piercings. When I got to the place, my mom was like, make sure your earrings are out, make sure your nose piercing is out, like, look presentable, make sure your hair looks good, or whatever the case, like with any interview, like just make sure, like, you look presentable. And I got to the interview and I was like, okay, I'm finna be in this, like, work this job with all these white folks. And this is finna be, like, very, like, taxing. Coming from working at Starbucks, where damn near every Starbucks partner is gay. Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, if this gonna be how this is, I'm gonna have to put on a face, like, my entire time being here. But as I, like, started to work there, I realized that we're more black people. People were more comfortable with you being you authentically, regardless of who it is. They weren't really judgmental. And then finding out that one of my coworkers was a trans woman, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be good here, because not that being trans is the extreme, but like for y'all to allow without discrimination, like I don't know what y'all saying behind closed doors, but to allow this, my coworker who is a trans woman, to be authentically her and be very persistent on making sure she feels comfortable, I know that I will be okay here. So as time went on, started putting my earrings back in, started putting my piercings back in, started to be more comfortable with being who I was. So yeah, I forgot what your question was.
That was really just it. How does it feel to have to show up?
Oh, well, with anything else, you always walk into a room, you're just like, okay, like a little hesitant. But like I said, I just find myself in situations or being blessed with opportunities where I don't have to really like save face or put on a face that's not authentically me. Obviously, like when you're in a professional environment, you're gonna, what black people call it, put on your white voice. Yeah.
Your Bill Collector voice.
Yeah, your Bill Collector voice. But being professional, like obviously you're gonna have to do that. You can't necessarily do what you do on a regular basis in a professional setting. So like other than that, I never really have to be anything other than me.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. the build collective voice, that is still a crazy ass thing that I don't even understand how we even learned that. How that even came.
Yeah.
It'd be clicking on
It do.
without you thinking about it. I hate that. I hate that.
Being a restaurant, you're like, you know what, can I? Just real, like, particular about, like, what you say and how you say it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's even just funny.
Yeah.
Because you're like, okay, that's not how you fucking talk.
Yes.
Like, stop playing games. Just talk regular.
I fucking hate listening back on, like, voice.
Literally, like, why do I sound like that?
I hate it. If I had to give it a descriptor, I say I sound like if a raisin could talk.
What?
I sound like a raisin or something like.
What does that mean?
I know what I mean. I don't really know how to explain it.
Give me your white voice, your raisin can talk voice.
So Andre, you know, it's not all the way too crazy.
Yeah.
It's just I use more purple words, you know. Yeah. I speak slowly. I don't talk as fast. I'm not finna say nigga. I'm not finna say motherfucker.
What's you gonna say? African American.
Oh, I definitely hate that word. I'm not using that. I'm like, damn, I just was on a video call yesterday. I could have just played that. I'm just like, you know, so Andre, what are your pronouns? Nigga, who is you?
Okay. How do you identify? Yes. He's like, you know what? You a faggot. I ain't even finna beat around the bush. Mr. She, her. Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna get a little tea. You feel me? You said you were dating. I didn't know that until today.
Yeah.
Because if I would have knew that, I would have been like, well, bring. No, I'm kidding. Describe your dating, your romance, that sector of being Andre.
Like, in what sense?
In a sense of, what is it like to be with a man, be with a woman, since you've experienced both? And then two, I've heard men say, like, some men say that they're bisexual just because they are, and then they have to change to just say I'm gay because women won't accept me at all.
Yeah.
When they know that I like men as well.
Yeah. Honestly, I would say because I'm so separated. I said honestly again, I just realized that. Anyway.
I'm gonna keep count.
I think because I'm so immersed in being a queer person and being involved in our community, I don't think I really have a what's the word? I don't have a really like in-depth way of explaining that.
Okay.
Because
you said you started off bisexual. That was for a reason.
Yeah. Because of what you said.
Yeah.
Because, well, I don't think women would be like accepting of the fact that I am more gay than not, I guess. But I don't know. I guess it was just me trying to specifically figure out what I was going through or what I was identifying as. For me, dating, it's not easy.
Yeah.
But it's not hard either. Especially, I would say it's more hard than it is easy, to be specific, because I think being queer or being gay or being under the umbrella in general, it's built for white people. And being a black person, being a fat black person, it's hard. Because the representation, up until now, obviously there's like different things going on, different things being represented within media, whether it's television, film, whatever the case. It's built for skinny white gays. Yeah. You see your skinny white gay couples in the movies. You don't really see people dating trans people in movies, people of color dating or being queer in films or television.
Yeah.
So that aspect is difficult. But for me, being someone who honestly just loves love, I'm not really particular on how someone else identifies.
Yeah.
If you feel some about me and I feel some about you, let's go with that. Yeah.
So that's what you said that you date a trans woman.
Mm-hmm.
Where did y'all meet?
In a bar.
Okay. So obviously this is not a woman of God. I'm just kidding.
Far from it. Far from it. She was just connected to somebody else in her and another person that I'm friends with in the drag community moved to Chicago together from Michigan. And she would just be in the clubs a lot with them when me and this other performer was doing this competition together. And me being who I am, I just flirted.
We should have did a scene of you flirting.
Isaiah should have been here then.
Exactly.
But no, I did what I did, like just aimlessly flirting, like I do with like anybody.
Put
that
them
I'm
back down.
Right, exactly. Okay. And it just turned into us dating, I guess.
Yeah.
We just started spending more time together. Like I just asked him one day, I was like, "You want to just like go have a drink or something?" And it turned into them coming over and we like watched the movie. I cooked or whatever the case may be. I think the cooking is what real.
Yeah, because that's how I do it too. You gotta cook them.
You gotta cook them some
stuffed shells.
Yeah. What did I make? Shit, I honestly don't even remember. It was probably like some fried chicken and like some mashed potatoes and gravy.
Eat the food.
We did. We did. This was honestly, that was one of the times that it didn't turn into anything, I would say, sexually romantic. Mm-hmm. And like the first like couple of days of us like intimately hanging out.
Yeah.
I think we had like smoked or something.
Okay.
After we ate or before we ate, got tired as fuck, and I was like, well, if you want to crash here, you can crash here. Mm-hmm.
You think you slick. I'm seeing through
my God.
I'm seeing
it wasn't
through
even
all the Mac.
It wasn't even like that at first. No, it wasn't. It like literally it was innocent as fuck.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'm too tired to like drive right now, but I will gladly pay for your Uber home if you want to go home, but you are more than welcome to crash here. I'll sleep in like on the couch. You can sleep in my room if you want to. And we just ended up sleeping in the same bed.
Of course.
Oh my God.
We just ended up here.
We just ended up sleeping in the same bed.
He's like, that's the man, I'm a little tired.
You know what? You trying to go
crash? You not slick, bro.
And it just went on from there, and like we just had like really like good conversation and hung out a lot, and like was literally seeing each other like every day type of thing. And then we just started dating. And
here you are.
And here where I am.
You got anything you want to say to your sweetie, your babies? I'm a sucker for love too. I asked you the question just for myself. I really could care less if they want to. If they care.
She know.
Not what's misunderstood ain't gotta be explained.
She know.
So all right, okay. My last question for you is: we drop gems here, right? I'm gonna have you on more than not. So the people out there, if you want, you should have asked them how they have sex. Like, come on now.
Oh no, not that.
Andre will be here more than today. Okay, this is somebody I would like to say will be a revolving guest on the show with how we're changing things on club culture.
Yeah.
So there will be more conversations held with Andre. But what is a gem that you would like to drop to end our episode for today?
I wish you'd have told me this was gonna be the end question.
God damn.
So I would have had time to give you something
like,
of like power.
All right.
No, I would say my gem to drop is simply don't assume.
Don't assume.
Don't assume, because you never know. You never know. Not only what might be going on behind closed doors for people, you never know how people identify. You never know anything. Don't just assume based on your knowledge of how you've experienced things in any aspect of life, in any aspect of your existence. Don't ever assume that it's the same for somebody else.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I like the gym.
Yeah.
It was powerful.
Thank you.
And we got this one last thing that we have to
Not you saying that gym was the last thing and that's another last thing.
because I almost forgot. I was finna let you skate by.
Okay.
But I need for you to hit me with the slogan. Don't ask us what is this about. Just.
Well, first, I want to say this to anybody that's out there, because we didn't touch on this, and I'm kind of glad we didn't, because we can save it for something else.
Yep.
But hit me up if y'all interested. Just saying.
About what?
Just hit me up.
All right. So, whatever that means to you, y'all do that. But that's not what I asked you.
Like, I got multiple types of apps on my phone. I'm just saying, hit me up.
The world that we live in today,
Anyway,
oh my gosh.
Like eHarmony, you know. Match.com.
So, next episode that we have with Andre might be a speed dating. We don't know. But give us...
I can't even do it.
Because you just said it about 50 times
I did before we started. Watch their podcast.
Thank you. If you are on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell. And if you are on your favorite streaming platform, thank you for tuning in and leave us a rating. That's the episode.
Deuce.
Just watch the damn podcast.